What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about something that I've talked about on the channel quite a few times. In fact, my most viewed video ever is on this subject, and that is children's content on YouTube. Now, before we get into the video, if you end up enjoying the video, please consider liking, commenting, and hitting that subscribe button. It really does help me a lot in the algorithm and just makes me happy. So if you could do that, amazing. All right, getting back into the video, I'm not actually going to be talking about any channels in particular. Maybe we can go and dive into that in some other videos, but I feel like I've kind of done that enough. I really just want to talk about what I think YouTube should do when it comes to children's content. And that is, of course, nothing. Let me explain. In my personal opinion, it is not up to YouTube what your child watches. Whether or not YouTube wants to moderate that content should completely be up to them, because at the end of the day, you are letting your child on a website that you know there is content made specifically for adults on, unmoderated. You're not actually watching what they're consuming, and that is your fault if they end up consuming something inappropriate. I do, however, think that channels that are made to look like they are for children but then have adult content should maybe be moderated a little bit. But I think a lot of people get this sort of spotlight effect where they think, oh, children are consuming this content, it must be YouTube's fault for allowing this content. No, guys, it's really the parents' fault. We're not actually looking at the root cause here. Why are these children consuming this content? Well, yes, it's because it's being uploaded to YouTube, but YouTube's a website for people of all ages, right? So we can't really restrict this content in a meaningful way without employing thousands and thousands of more people and utilizing AI. And YouTube's AI that they have right now is absolutely awful. It will flag your video for basically anything. So we have two choices here. We can completely say, hey, no children's content on YouTube at all, or we can say everything has to be child friendly. And obviously both of those are extreme answers, right? And in my opinion, I think it should be, hey, this content can hurt your children. Know this before letting your children just run amok on this. So then YouTube is completely abstained from all fault. Unless, of course, they're specifically pushing inappropriate content to children, which there could be an argument that that is the case. We've looked at the things like the Sprunky stuff that was going on probably 6 months, more than that, even like 8 months back now. And that's my biggest video, but go check that out if you guys would like. But besides that, it's just like, at the end of the day, it's the parents' decision whether or not they let their kid watch YouTube. And if they're not putting their YouTube on YouTube Kids, they know what they are getting into. Inappropriate content being on YouTube Kids, which is a completely separate app from YouTube, is a completely different thing in my opinion. That app only allows videos that are made for kids, and I'm pretty sure you can't even use the search bar on that app. So that is a completely different situation. I'm talking about mainline YouTube right now. If there's content that is deemed inappropriate for children on normal YouTube that has not been marked as made for kids, it should not be YouTube's fault to age restrict that content to over 18 unless it includes something, say, pornographic or like gore or something like that. That is my personal opinion. I just want to add that I think what YouTube is doing right now by complying with European laws for age verification with using facial recognition technology and things like that, having to put your ID in and your credit card number, is absolutely ridiculous. That info is going straight to YouTube, which is probably going to sell it. Let's be completely honest. Google here is probably going to sell your information, guys. And not even just that, they shouldn't have to take my government issued ID for me to watch YouTube. Okay, like that makes no sense at all. It's also been proven that things like this are being used to build facial recognition AI that the government is using, which in my opinion is a extremely bad thing and only a way for the government to spy on its citizens more. And if you say the fallacy of, well, if you're not doing anything bad, then you shouldn't worry about this because it won't affect you. Just shut up. That's such poor reasoning. I shouldn't have to be doing anything bad to want privacy. The government wants to use this technology so that it can police its citizens easier, so it can inflict a lot of the times unconstitutional in the United States and just morally reprehensible laws of a spy state. And this isn't just me being some crazy conspiracy theorist, which I'm sure I'm going to get labeled as in the comments. It's Anyway, I'm getting off this rant. This wasn't really what the video was supposed to be about, but at the end of the day, it is the parents' responsibility what their children watch online. If your child rather comes out messed up and like addicted to porn because you let them go and just surf the internet by themselves since the time they were 3, that is your fault. That is not the internet's fault. And I know this isn't an uncommon opinion because I see other people voicing it all the time. However, I still see so many parents just letting their children run amok on the internet like, oh, it's perfectly safe. They're totally not going to find some weird fetish porn, you know? They're totally not gonna find a bunch of gore and become like David. No, it's impossible. It's never gonna happen. Yet it's happening more and more every single day because of these lazy millennial and Gen Z parents. And I say that as a member of Gen Z. I'm not trying to just be this, oh, Gen Z sucks. My last video is really about how Gen Z is actually better than most generations before it. But getting off of that, millennial parents are just giving their kids iPads. Even some Gen X parents that had their kids a little later were just giving them iPads and letting them roam the internet all day with zero supervision. And if you are a parent doing that, I just want to tell you, you are parenting completely wrong. And you're going to be like, oh, well, you don't have any kids, so how can you tell me how to parent? I shouldn't have to have kids to tell you that letting your child run amok on the internet 24/7 is bad for their brain. Not only because they can stumble across things, that they aren't necessarily prepared for, but also because it's just destroying their attention span. There's a lot of reasons that children nowadays, don't have good attention spans. And it's not fucking Tylenol, RFK Jr. And kids are developing autism more, not because of what we're eating necessarily, but because they're just allowed to destroy their brains on fucking Italian brain rot TikTok all day, every day, 24/7. Control what your children watch. Control the amount of media they are consuming. Don't just let them sit there and swipe on TikTok and your 8-year-old son's watching people twerk and shit. That's fucking weird, dude. All right? You're just basically feeding your child porn without even knowing it, you disgusting freak. Okay? Limit your children's internet use. I know I'm going to sound like a boomer here, but seriously, it's a huge problem. Ask any teacher. If you know a elementary school teacher, I work in schools. Ask them, and they will tell you it is absolutely horrendous. The attention spans from 10 years ago and today that children have is so much worse. High schoolers that aren't able to read, that have no obvious mental impairments, just can't read for whatever reason because, oh, we push them along and they are just TikTok brain. They can barely read a book. And when I say read, I don't mean, oh, they can read the fucking TikTok comments. No. I mean, can read a serious book. All right. If you can't read what do I got right here? If you can't read Lord of the Rings, you should never have graduated high school. Okay. If you can't read basic books like that aren't even considered hard reads, why are you out of high school? Seriously. This has turned into a huge rant that's jumped from a bunch of different things. I should probably stop now. I just kind of wanted to get a video out tonight. I'm going to be trying to upload one video per day for the rest of October. All right, guys, just as a little payback for not uploading for 2 months. But anyway, guys, with that being said, I hope you had an absolutely amazing day. If you enjoyed the video, again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.